Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessToTrade.com nightly update show. Thank you very much for tuning in, spending a couple of moments with us. Kindly take a moment out, support the channel. Click that like button. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully, again, I could point you in the right direction. So after Friday's, pretty aggressive 5% sell-off, the question going into today's session was, well, was this going to be a spillover come into more selling, or is this going to be an inside day? As social media nonsense that we talked about over the weekend, there is no Black Monday. Again, there is no Black Monday because, well, there is no crash. That's the whole point. When you're up 40% and you give back 5, it's the furthest thing from a crash. But again, get those links, right? Get those clicks, collect that $2 from Twitter mentions and interactions. Congratulations, you've made it. So let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about this. So you got a 1.5%, 1.5% snapback. Can we even call it a snapback? 1.5% dead cat bounce. As you can see here in the middle of this channel here, all it was an inside day. That's it. It was an absolute inside day. A lot of names did not participate even in this rally. You had Amazon actually going lower. You had Google actually going lower, right? Actually going lower. What else? What else didn't participate today? You had Amazon, Oracle red, Meta red, Microsoft red. Apple today had their WWDC event. The highlights from this event, it's a Siri AI overhaul, I guess a more powerful, and I'm not guessing, I'm literally reading from the print here, more powerful on-screen awareness, integration with Apple Intelligence and Google Gemini. Well, the stock actually had a big run-up, right? Actually had a really, really big run-up into the conference, and they just absolutely destroyed it, which basically shows you where the market is right now. This was 2 weeks ago, even a week ago. They would have ran the crap out of this thing because, again, that's where the euphoria market is. So you got a lot of names not participating, doing absolutely nothing. There was a nice run-up on Tesla, which I'm probably the only person who lost money on a bounce today on Tesla. I didn't have my finest day. Let's just say that much. I don't think I traded well today. And it has nothing to do with process and nothing to do with mindset. It was just more of the channels that I was trading. For whatever reason, a headline came in on those channels and kind of skewed the trade. So I traded Meta, and there was some good news. Meta, by the way, I think I'm done trading Meta for a while. I shorted Meta through yesterday's channel, Friday's channel, literally went down like 50 cents and then squeezed me out, lost $4 in it. And like I said, they were buying really aggressive calls on Tesla. Usually I'm pretty good with Tesla today. I don't know, maybe I got unlucky with it, but there was a first sell-off into 60-minute demand. I got long the setup, and then all of a sudden you had all this news coming in from Iran, deal on, deal off, and I don't even know if I got shaken out. I wound up losing a little bit of money on it, but the point is, it just wasn't my day. It's just one of those things. It's like, okay, usually I'm pretty good at this. There's going to be days that just, no matter how good the hand is, you just can't get it right. And this was just my day, so I'm kind of moving on from it. It's just like, one of those days that, it happens. Moral of the story is, Tesla ran pretty aggressively. They are betting into the SpaceX IPO that is coming out on the 12th, right? That's coming out on the 12th. And guys, just a reminder, no hot IPO ever hits retail. It just doesn't. So when you heard a couple of weeks ago, the idea that Robinhood was issuing shares and Fidelity was issuing shares, and then Fidelity went from a $500,000 minimum account to get these shares to a $2,000 account to get these shares. And then yesterday, I'm on Instagram, of all things, and maybe you guys saw it as well, there was a SoFi ad to selling this IPO. So again, guys, buyer beware. You're all grown-ups. You can do whatever you want. But again, when was the last time you got something good as retailers? Just be very, very aware. But anyway, they were buying Tesla ahead of this IPO. Weekly 420s, 430s came in. That's a little bit ambitious. I would get really interesting if Tesla reclaimed back the 10, 20-day reclaim. But until that happens on strength, it's very, very tough. You look at stocks, for example, like Microsoft. Microsoft had a great run up about a week ago and it just absolutely died. And not only did it die, guys, look what we're back to. We're back to the 50-day moving average on Microsoft. You have 1, 2, 3, now 4 days tap the 50-day moving average. In the next couple of days, if Microsoft loses back that 50-day moving average, it could be an aggressive sell. So I think the longer that we can't reclaim back Friday's highs on the overall macro point of the market, the higher probability that we're going to retest last Friday's low. So to be very, very important. The fact that the leaders are not participating, right, it is very, very important. The two stocks that are participating, and again, I didn't have this on my bingo card today. Micron at one point got back to last Friday's highs. This is how strong Micron is. Same thing with SanDisk, right? Same thing with SanDisk. They got back above Friday's highs before absolutely getting pulled. But overall general, right? The overall general sentiment, this is kind of what we talked about prior to Friday's pull. The mass names, the mass technology names are still super, super heavy inside day today, or even got a little bit lower, right, from Friday's session, and that continues to be a problem. I mean, look at look for example, a stock like what was the name of it? What was the name of it? They came out with earnings. Look at CrowdStrike, right? CrowdStrike had had good earnings, just a bad reaction. Today it stopped at the 20-day moving average. Again, this is still one to watch for the next couple of days. The point is, if it loses the 20-day moving average and the market starts rolling over again, guys, there's like $50 worth of room all the way down to the 34 EMA. And you're going to notice a lot of stocks with the same similarities, right? You see a lot of names. Look at PLTR, right? PLTR basically has not rallied at all since that 3-day segment that we had last week. It's back underneath the 50-day moving average again, inside day. This is now day 2 below 50-day moving average. I definitely want to keep an eye on this thing in case the market starts getting weaker again and starts reclaiming back Friday's lows. I definitely want to watch PLTR below last Friday's session. If that hits, it could be a good one, right? It could be absolutely a good one as well. Look at Gilead, right? Usually not a name I follow, but look how many times, I'm even going to give you the price, right? Look how many times it's held 127. It held 127 on April 27th. It held held it on 19th. It held it on June the 2nd. It held it on June the 3rd. And it held it today. This 127 is a massive, massive line in the sand on Gilead. Any close below 127 will start its next leg down. That will also confirm the 200-day moving average. Like I said, Microsoft, I really like Microsoft in the next couple of days. I actually would like to see Microsoft rally a couple of days so it can just go sideways. So if there is a break below the 50-day moving average, it won't go linear. Again, it's held the 50-day moving average 3 times, but I definitely want to keep an eye on this thing just in case we rally tomorrow. I mean, how do you not want to watch Micron in case we do rally? Again, I don't know if we will, if we don't, but the point is, in case we do rally, let's definitely keep an eye on Micron above today's channel. If it could reclaim back the 10-day moving average, it could, definitely strength. Guys, recent IPOs, CBRS, Cerebus, this is the first time there's any type of life in this thing, right? Actually had a very, very strong session. This is now the second highest close in the last several weeks, which is very, very important. The reason why I bring this up, number one, the stock is coming from the bottom, AI, blah, blah, blah. But there was a series of bets today in the options market for the July 17th expiration for the 300 calls, right? Keep this in mind, the stock's at 237. For the 300 calls north of $1 million in premium. If the market does rally and doesn't die, keep an eye on this thing. If it could just get back above today's channel, this thing could actually maybe wake up. Another IPO that came public several days ago, Quant, again, same, AI, quant, data centers, all that crap. Keep an eye on this thing in the next couple of days above today's channel. It sold off into the close, but you know how quickly these things can wake up as well. So that's very, very interesting. Some notable bets today in the options market. We saw Google, right? Really, really weak today, right? Really, really weak over the last couple of weeks, but very, very weak today again. A notable buyer came in for $4 million for the August 415 calls. Again, keep this in mind. That's about $55 out of the money with about 2 months. Again, is that a romantic bet? You know, we don't know. The big buyers for Tesla going into the SpaceX IPO, which again, buyer beware. The 620 and 630 weeklies. You know, it's going to be a very tough sell, especially if the market sentiment is frowned upon. But if Tesla can get back above, I'd be interested on Tesla if it could start reclaiming back on the technical side of it, the 10 and the 20-day cross. If that's the case, maybe they do run this thing ahead of the IPO, but it's going to be a little bit tough, especially if the market is very, very sensitive. And NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA, you know, not exactly the greatest acting stock compared to everything else, especially in the semiconductor group. A notable buyer came in for the July 17, 230 calls for $2 million, way deep out of the money. Again, is a romantic bet, or do they know something? Time will tell. But for now, on the surface, right? On the surface, this is just mere an inside day. The longer we have this inside scenario that doesn't take out Friday's highs or doesn't take out Friday's low, expect a chop factor, right? Definitely expect a chop factor because, again, when you're in a channel, right, one of those sides have to confirm. If you're playing ping pong in between the channels, that's called chop, right? In layman's terms, that's called chop. There's not enough aggression to the upside and there's not enough fear to the downside, and hence why bad things happen in this type of environment. Again, not the greatest day for me personally. Again, sometimes you're the pigeon, sometimes you're the windshield. Today I was the windshield. Short memory. Again, the longer you trade, folks, you're going to have phenomenal days and you're going to have shitty days, right? Today is just a shitty day. Just bad. I just couldn't get it, man. I just couldn't get it. Again, I thought I was playing actually pretty decent hands. It just didn't work out in my favor. Just like the great Mariano Rivera, the greatest closer of all time. He could blow a game. Guess what? He's not perfect. He's not human. But the next day, he comes out again and then does his job. Let's see what happens tomorrow. The longer we go sideways, the higher probability that we will get pulled and retest Friday's lows. So it's very, very important for the bulls to wake the hell up. We are still watching a lot of channels that did not confirm from Friday's sell-off, but if they do, they will be pretty aggressive sell signals as well. And that's it, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. Have a great, great night. Game 3 at the Garden. It's going to be pandemonium. Again, I don't ask for much. Guys, have a great night. God bless, and I'll see you on the field tomorrow.